what are the advantages, from your side as a married person?
Okay, for my side, the advantage, the fact that this country can be really lonely. So if you don't have a partner, you're just going to be bored to death. This country can be really lonely, guys, and you need a partner. You need someone to talk to.
And I totally agree with that.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
I think people don't talk about that part of, relocating abroad in general, and it can be very lonely when you're single and you're still trying to even navigate life abroad. If you're married, you obviously would have someone that you can lean
have
on
someone to talk to whenever you're going through emotional, because the country can be sometimes really depressing, and you'll be so emotional, you will not have anyone to cry to. But the fact that you have your husband or your wife, you have that companionship, and it won't feel so lonely. Another advantage is the fact that you have somebody that you guys can share stuff with. So in terms of bills,
yes,
when paying the bills, but we Nigerian, coming from Nigeria, we believe that the man should pay for everything. So I'll count that as an advantage. But hey guys, I don't like to stress my husband so much. I don't have that mentality. So sometimes I support the house.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. So just having someone that you can split bills with. There's also the advantage of having a double income household. So if you want to buy a house, you guys can do it together, and then the bank can consider the income of the husband and the income of the wife to be able to approve a higher amount of credit for buying a house. What about things like house chores? How does that play out? I know we talked about expenses, but in terms of help around the house, if you're single, obviously you're doing everything by yourself. If you're married here, do you think that African men have to change how they support in the home?
Well,
so to speak?
Lucky me, I have the best non-African man. He is not African in any way. I mean, no offense. The African men, they have this mentality I'm the man of the house, I can't do all. No, he does everything. We used to share the house chores. He'd be go take care of our daughter and I'll clean the house.
Yeah, that's
so he cleans the house, do the dishes, wash the toilet, do everything, and all I have to do is stay with our daughter, playing with her, keep her in one place so that he can have that freedom to clean the house. So that is how we usually do it. And sometimes when I'm cooking, he would dice everything that needs to be diced, blend anything that needs to be blended, leave the vegetables, everything. He would just do it, arrange it in the kitchen. Then I'll be with the daughter.
Yeah.
Then he will come and stay with our daughter. Then I'll start cooking. So cooking for me is so easy because my husband would have already done everything down. He's so good. He will dice the vegetables, the meats, everything I need. He will just arrange them in a plate. So my own is just to come and cook. So the house chores for me, I feel is because of the person I married. So it's not, if you're not lucky.
So he didn't have to adjust.
He has always been like that, even when we're dating. So
I've heard stories, really, people that haven't shifted their mentality about how it's a partnership more here, where everybody's contributing both financially, domestically, to the household, and a lot of people have to make that mental shift when they come that, hey, my wife may be working, or I need to support in cleaning, taking care of the children if they have to. And, it'd be interesting to know people that have come as dependents where their spouses are students, because that really changes the dynamics when one spouse is going to school and can only work 20 hours.
And the other one has to work full time to support the house.
And they have kids.
I don't know how they do it, because when I'm doing the calculation, it's not calculating in my head. Yeah. People always feel when they made that land to UK, I'll get a job. And start working. Even you know that. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get a job? Your first job?
Yeah, it took me 6 months.
Me too.
So, you know,
Well, at least you had a good job. It took me 6 months to get warehouse job. Okay, well, I wasn't looking for warehouse job at the beginning. I was looking for more professional job. They no saying to me. I'm like, okay, let me try warehouse, and I got it.
so it's, you know,
Getting a job in the UK is not easy because you have to go through all the whole references. Even the warehouse job, I had, reference from Nigeria. I'm like, look at
yeah, they'll do it. They'll do it.
so.
So it's crazy.
So if you're moving as a student with children, I don't know how you. Well, maybe most of them maybe are well-to-do. You need to come with a lot of money because there's no guarantee that immediately you land the UK, you're gonna get a job.
Yeah, no guarantees unless you've gotten the job before coming.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
But if you come in as a student, you don't just say, "Oh, when I come, I go rough farm."
Yeah.
Rough waiting. You can't rough. See, this is not Nigeria. There's no roughing in this country. It's either you have money or you don't. Nobody.
But then the way the country is, like, I think with any amount that you're earning, you can actually survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can survive. So
You can live within your budget. But if you're single, or
it's easier.
it's easier to survive. But if you have kids, you cannot survive with anything you earn.
Yeah.
That's why you need to be careful.
And just really think about it properly
Before you
because
make
everyone's
that move.
situation is different. But the reality is, it's not easy. Moving with an entire family.
Okay, so these are the things I'll tell you if you're moving with your family. You cannot stay in a shared apartment, which is cheaper. You cannot. If you have kids, based on their gender, that will determine how many bedroom apartment you need to get. Also know that not every landlord is going to accept you into their house because you have a child.
Yeah.
And there is no managing the child. We will manage and stay for one room. If government finds out, they are taking the child away from you.
Yeah.
And you can't be like, oh, I'll rough it, I can leave my child and rush to work and come back. That is neglect. Neglect is a crime in the UK, and you're going to take your child away from you. I mean, you will not see your child again.
Oh.
And you don't want to go through that emotional. At the end of the day, I feel like most families are doing this for the better future of their kids.
Yeah.
So you don't want to. And I can't work full time because I'm a mom. My husband works full time already. I can't work full time, so I have to work part time so I can stay at home to take care of my child. So you get to a stage where the child will be able to be fully independent, but that stage is like 16 years. 13 years they can go to school on their own and come back. But when they're at home, they still need an adult supervision. 16 years, that is when you don't need an adult supervision. That's a very long time. Now I understand why you don't like to have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah. It is responsibility.
Whew.
So
You're so happy?
I'm still pro
Yeah.
move as a single person though.
Me, I'll be like, move as a married person. Because loneliness, she's not telling you the lonely part.
Yeah, the loneliness. Yeah, I think you're right.
Do I want to come married or I want to come single? So because everything has its advantage and disadvantage. So you now have to weigh your options. Like, which one do I think?
So if you're married in Nigeria and you were coming like the first few months, knowing what you know now, would you advise them to come with their family?
This is a very hard one because I'm a mom and I can't imagine leaving my daughter back then in Nigeria and coming. I don't know if you're in the UK, when you read about things that is happening in Nigeria, it gives you this fear like, are my people safe?
Yes. Yeah.
With what's going on, I don't think I'll be sane living in this country and my daughter is in Nigeria. I can't. So it all depends on what works for you and what you can stand. Just know that if you're moving with your family, just X that I want to save or I want to buy a house immediately I get to the UK or something. Just, have this idea that, okay, I'm going to just live the life as a coach. The first advice is move alone for a first 1 year before you move with your family. Yeah, 1 year. So this 1 year, you can use it to stay in a shared apartment, which will be paying less. You can save more money. And if you're sending money to your family back home, is way cheaper than
I
when
see
they
your
are here.
point, because when I moved here, I was staying in a shared apartment, and that saved me a lot of money. But you can't do that obviously if you have a family.
No, you can't. You can't stay in a shared apartment if you have a family. And most times, shared apartment comes with the bills, everything inclusive. So you're not even thinking of light bill, water bill, council tax, and all of that. Some people be like, I will still work. I'll put my child in nursery. Like, I'll be like, how much are you earning? Let's say you're earning 30K. Nursery is 1,000
Per month.
900 to 1,000.
We're definitely moving to the UK single.
And you're earning 2,000 net every month, and you now have to pay 1,000 for childcare.
That's crazy. How much is even your rent?
Rent,
Because to
you
get
can't
like
pay
an
rent.
average 2-bed for a family
It's like,
is,
if it's in London, minimum is 1,415.
yeah. So
So except you're going to stay in the countryside, and most people be like, I will stay in the countryside, it's cheaper. You guys don't understand the disadvantage of living outskirts cities. There's no job. Honestly, because
it's just
where I'm
trees.
staying is country. It's not like fully countryside because it has we're close to London, so
Yeah.
there's a bit of city, but it's still countryside. There is no job.
I just, like these are things that, I never really thought about. I just used to think that, okay, just trees mostly.
There's no job too.
That is
Unlike
very
if you're living in
interesting.
London, you can just walk into any store. Do you need sales help or something? You can check. You see tons of jobs around you.
I've got colleagues that travel into London, from wherever they are, like, to come into the office, and I really don't know what that's like, but it just sounds very inconvenient for me.
Very.
They might be saving money by living, far away, but in terms of like what they want for their lifestyle, yeah.
Even if I have money enough to buy a house in a countryside, I won't. I'd rather be paying rent and stay in a city, maybe Manchester, London, big cities, because there are a lot of opportunity. You can have lifestyle, you will live, you feel like you're in the abroad. Some people, the way they stay, their house is like 1 hour to Primark that is everywhere. You'll be driving 1 hour.
Yeah, a lot of the shops, are in the city, so yeah.
You can't even find off-license stores. You want to go grocery shopping, you have to travel like an hour or two.
Or even African stores.
Or African stores, because
Which
you
is
want to
very
stay in a
essential.
cheap place.
Yeah.
We have come to the end of this video. If this video was fun, you like it, give it a thumbs up. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Have you migrated to the UK? If yes, did you move single, married, or married with no kids? What do you think? Can you relate to this story? And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.